These three songstresses from different parts of the country and walks of life came together to create music magic in the early 90s. They may have been small in stature, but they were big on vocals. Even one of the biggest names in the industry at the time, who would go on to have a profound impact on their career, couldn't deny their talent. Unfortunately, their first album also ended up being their last, and they were forced to put their dreams on hold indefinitely. Let's find out whatever happened to American R&B girl group Kut Klose. Tabitha Duncan from Muskegon, Michigan, Athena Cage from Russellville, Kentucky, and LaVon Battle from Birmingham, Alabama, better known as Kut Klose, formed the trio in Atlanta, Georgia in 1993 when they were all in their early to mid-20s. Their name is in reference to the many similarities they share: their height, look, and essence. In the beginning, the ladies had a very different idea of what kind of music and image they wanted to put out into the world, but that all changed when they hooked up with the man who would help them rise all the way to the top of the charts, R&B singer Keith Sweat. It's important to note that contrary to popular belief, Keith did not discover the group. They discovered him. Everything came together quite naturally. Founding member Tabitha was a PK, or preacher's kid, from a very big family of 15 children, 9 boys and 6 girls. And yes, if you're wondering, all from the same mother and father. Growing up as a PK wasn't easy. Her parents were very strict, and she had to adhere to a lot of rules. She ultimately moved to Atlanta, Georgia at the age of 18 with her 17 years older boyfriend to be free and begin her adult life. They chose Atlanta because her boyfriend's childhood friend, none other than Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, was there. They ended up working for him as personal assistants. Her boyfriend was also very musically inclined and actually wrote songs and sang with Babyface growing up. He would go on to form his own production company, and Tabitha at that point, inspired by fellow R&B girl group TLC, decided she wanted to put a group together as well. A friend of hers from Indianapolis knew Athena's uncle, and he passed on her demo tape to Tabitha. Athena had already begun doing background work for other artists, such as country star Amy Grant and R&B legends the Isley Brothers. Tabitha was blown away by what she heard and knew she needed to see Athena in person. After her in-person audition, Athena was in. LaVon was the last piece of the puzzle to be added after she got wind of the auditions and flew out with her manager to try out. LaVon grew up in the church, but also had a love for secular artists like Denise Williams, Stacey Lattisaw, and Michael Jackson. Both of her parents were in gospel groups, but she chose to rebel a bit and join Athena and Tabitha. When they joined forces with Keith, she admits that she felt very uncomfortable saying certain lyrics. However, she knew she had to do what she had to do to make her dreams come true. After several months of gelling together, they approached Keith, who they already knew since he was working with the same production company they were working with. At this point, they considered themselves an urban contemporary gospel group and performed under the name Nubian 3. However, Keith had other ideas. Under his guidance, they would quickly transform into sexy R&B divas. After signing a 7-album deal with Keith's label Kia Records under Elektra Records, and before striking out on their own, the world would first get to know them as a featured artist on the Keith Sweat track Get Up On It, released in 1994. It's unclear why it wasn't Kut Klose featuring Keith Sweat, since the trio did the majority of the singing on the track. However, collaborating with their mentor would turn out to be a great move for the group throughout their career. The following year, their debut single and biggest hit to date, I Like, dropped in February 1995.
I like the way you tease me.
The song made it into the top 40, peaking at the number 34 position on the Billboard Hot 100 and grabbed the number 8 spot on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. Their debut album, titled Surrender, would be released the following month. By 1996, another Keith Sweat collab would hit the streets and be a very successful experience for both parties. Twisted, featuring Kut Klose, was released in June and shot all the way to number 2 on the Hot 100 and remained steady at number 1 on the R&B hip hop chart for 3 consecutive weeks. When the time came for work to begin on their second album, things started out great working on their first track with multi-hyphenated super producer Missy Elliott. However, management started tripping. Keith and Sylvia Rohn, CEO of Elektra Entertainment Group at the time, were also not getting along. Things got so out of control at one point that the powers that be actually tried to replace Tabitha and Levon with 2 new members. And according to Tabitha, Athena was in on it as well. The favoritism with Athena was actually evident from the very beginning. As soon as their album dropped, Keith went on tour and took Athena with him. Not Kut Klose, just Athena. Also, a few months after Twisted dropped, another hit was released off of his album called Nobody, featuring Athena Cage. Naturally, all the drama pulled the trio apart, and nothing much was heard from them for the next 14 years. The biggest reason for such a long absence was the fact that individually and collectively, the ladies were still tied to their record label and legally couldn't pursue other avenues to distribute their music. As a result, the group members had to eat a lot of humble pie. They had to get regular jobs and resume regular lives. They also had to deal with the mental and emotional struggles of how they were treated by the people they trusted with their careers. Tabitha revealed in an interview with Halftime Chat that the group had a recording and publishing contract in one, and their advance, a lump sum of money given to an artist at the start of a project that they are able to spend freely, was only $1. So, without an advance, and the record company taking up to half of their earnings, they were essentially working for free. Not surprisingly, Athena embarked on a solo career and signed with Priority Records. Her album, titled The Art of a Woman, ended up being shelved after Priority, who were mainly known for hip-hop acts, folded into Capitol Records. Everyone who she'd been previously working with were axed. A whole new set of people were brought in, and the project never got the attention it deserved. Fun fact, fans of Athena should check out her song on the soundtrack to the American teen dance film, Save the Last Dance, called All or Nothing, which played during Sarah's mesmerizing audition scene that got her into the world-leading private performing arts conservatory, Juilliard. In the summer of 2010, Kut Klose came back on the music scene with a new track called Let It Ring, released to iTunes. It was apparently in anticipation of their long-awaited second album. However, no album ever manifested, and another long hiatus would follow. Today, Tabitha is a single mother of 2 daughters. She's a major fitness buff and posts lots of fitness-related content on her social media. Over the last couple of years, she's also gotten into acting. Levon has an adult daughter that she's helping to guide in the pursuit of her own singing career. In 2003, Athena established the Athena Cage Scholarship Fund at her alma mater, Western Kentucky University. The following year, her hometown renamed the street she grew up on Athena Cage Way. She's received the highest honor title of Kentucky Colonel from her home state, awarded to individuals for noteworthy accomplishments, contributions to civil society, remarkable deeds, or outstanding service to the community, state, or nation. She also works as a Grammy mentor visiting schools across the country promoting music education. As far as how the ladies feel about Keith Sweat, or whether or not the group would ever work with him again, Tabitha summed up the answer in a January 2021 podcast interview with Halftime Chat.
I have no ill feelings whatsoever with Keith, none. He is our musical father, he allowed us to have a way in this business, you know what I'm saying? But if Keith were to call us and ask us to perform at a show, hell yeah, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? If he was right here, I'd give him a big hug and a kiss. I tell the truth according to what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to carry the negativity with me.
Yes,
it does me no good whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
On December 18th, 2020, Kut Klose debuted their first new song in over a decade, called Congratulations. Fans got a second dose of new music several months later when the collaboration they did with fellow 90s R&B group H-Town, called Lose Control, dropped in March 2021. So far, the ladies have no plans to release a full-length album. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time!